Welcome to World of Marketing Podcast, a Foster Web Marketing production. Here's your host, Tom Foster.
Hey everybody, it's Tom Foster on the World of Marketing, where I talk with industry leaders about marketing mindset and business growth. And this episode is brought to you by my own company, Foster Web Marketing. Foster Web Marketing is dedicated to providing cutting-edge, highly customizable websites, marketing, video, and strategic solutions specifically designed for law firms, medical practices, and other professional service businesses. Our award-winning marketing and system solution sets us apart from everything else. Please go to our website at fosterwebmarketing.com if you want to know more about marketing that works for your business, medical practice, or law firm. And one day I'm going to memorize that, Jessica.
Yes, you will.
Today, my guest is the lovely Jessica Taveras. Jessica runs coaching here at Foster Web Marketing.
Mm-hmm.
But before that, before she ran coaching.
BC, before coaching.
Before coaching. She was the marketing director for the uber successful Dr. Peter Wishney and Dr. Brad Schaefer, TLC's My Feet Hurt. That guy. So you work for both of those doctors, and they have both are incredibly successful,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I just had Brad on the podcast this week,
Mm-hmm.
and that'll be going out.
Yep.
And he was talking about how awesome it was working with you.
Yes, he's a great guy. They're both great guys.
Yes. They're both great guys, because you are great. And we're here to talk about you and coaching. And what are we talking about? Coaching, Jessica.
Coaching is exciting.
Right?
Yes.
Believe it or not, everybody, Foster Web Marketing, we provide coaching to our clients. We help them with their website. We coach them with their marketing. And Jessica is the best coach there is.
Yeah, coaching's great. Coaching is I look at coaching as empowering our business owners to take charge of their marketing. So in coaching, we go through your blueprint in marketing, and we talk about how to be successful. My goal is to teach you the skill to be successful on your own. So you're able to implement the ideas and the strategies that we talk about and use them in order to get more patients, get more clients, be happier, right? That's what we all want.
So how did you come about? Well, first of all, how did you get to Peter in the first place?
I started working for Peter right out of college. I saw a job ad and he, it was a marketing position. And back in the day, it was so funny. He used to use these ads that talked about, do you want to work at Disney World? And that was the phrasing. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Let me see. And so I started with him right after I graduated, which ironically enough, when I started with him, he was like, great, this is your office. I got a brand new website, make it do things. And that was a Foster website. So I've known you guys a long time, just as long as I've known Dr. Wishney. So, yeah.
And you worked there for 13 years. So Jessica worked there for 13 years on Dr. Wishney's website with DSS as the back end. And that's how she learned. And that's why she's such a great coach. And she can coach everybody on how to use DSS, on how to build your practice. Whether you're a podiatry practice or a law firm, or it doesn't matter what kind of business, they set it up in DSS. She's done it.
Exactly. I think that's what a lot of my clients, the ones that I coach, they appreciate that. I've been on the client side. I've worked through the system.
You got thrown into it.
Exactly. It was just like, here you go, make it do things. And, in college, when I went to college, the digital marketing was not the same, so I didn't learn digital marketing in college. Facebook had just come out. So I don't know that it was a real big concept at the time. So once I graduated, it was like, here's this website, make it happen. And it's like, okay, well, I didn't learn any of this in school. So having you guys, having Foster as a support has been amazing. And, we'd go to conferences, we'd be at top practices, and I'd be like in the front row writing down all my notes that you would present on and Foster would present on. And that's how I learned. So I think clients really appreciate the fact that I understand where they're coming from. I know the pressure that they have to deliver great leads and make the business successful. And I'm just as committed to making that happen for them and with them as they are. So I think that makes a big difference than someone who's just been behind the scenes the whole time. Like I've struggled too. I've tried to make things happen. I've harassed many people at Foster to help me, and you guys have always been amazing. So I think that's beneficial to clients.
So we've been doing this for a long time, Jessica. And what is your most proudest moment during all of this?
Proudest moment? Wow, I have a lot of really proud moments. Working with Dr. Wishney or in general? Yeah, sure. Okay. So my proudest moments working with Dr. Wishney were honestly when he sold the practice. That was huge. I mean, that was incredible for him. He worked really hard to make that happen.
That's such validation, right?
Yes. I mean, that was incredible. Worked out for me because I got to come work for Foster, which has always been a dream. Worked out for him. And we worked really hard to make the business, put it in a position that it could sell.
By the way, I just want to say what a class act Peter Wishney, Dr. Peter Wishney is, because this is how this played out. When he knew that he was selling his business, his practice that he had worked for so long, for 20 years, however, to build up. And Jessica was involved in 13 years of that. He called me before it was finalized and said, Jessica, I need, and I was like, yeah.
It worked out for all of us, I think.
It worked out so well because he moved on to this great, and this Curalta thing is fantastic. And we're talking, that's a great company. He's doing great with them and his coaching stuff that he's doing. And you with us these last couple of years, it's just been fantastic. I'll never forget when we were kind of courting each other in Vegas. Top practices thing, we were sitting at the table and I was like, well, what do you want to do, Jessica? And you were like, I want to come work for Foster Web Marketing, Tom. And I was like, let's make this thing happen. And it was great because here she had been doing it as a client in DSS for all these years. And then taken, she said it. Peter Wishney was like, just started his new website, brand new. Here it is. Make it work.
Yep.
And you had to figure it out. Worked with us. And so 13, all the way to he sold his practice. I mean, it's such a great story. And then you come work for me. I love it. I just love it. And then you're able to go and share with everybody. And you've really helped a lot of other practices already in the last couple of years. Yeah.
I'm proud of them. A lot of them are doing really well.
Like name a couple of them that are.
Lynn at Berg DPM is a power user, crushing it. We have Christiana at Freeland Foot.
Right.
There's a whole lot of them. Just got into the lawyers. Diana, the lawyer, she just busted out and she's doing amazing and gung ho. And anything I tell her, she's doing it. And it works, right? Like I'm living proof that you apply the principles it works. Some people have a hard time connecting the dots, but how is this going to get me new patients at the end of the day, right? Or how's this going to get me new clients?
Right. It does work though.
Right.
It does work if you follow this process.
Yes. Yeah.
It's called marketing.
Yeah. Yeah. Funny, right? Dr. Schaefer even said that on his podcast. You know, Dr. Rishney would always say, this is what we need to do in marketing. And they're very different people. You know, Dr. Rishney's very structured and Dr. Schaefer's a little more loose. You know, that's just their personalities. And so Dr. Schaefer, and he would be like, do I really though? How is this going to work? And then when we laid it out and he says it, now I see how it works. I see how big of a difference it made. And now when I got my new website, I had to come to Foster because I've seen the proof that it worked. So that was also very proud because there were some times where I'd be like, Schaefer, just write this blog post. And so to see that he actually sees how it turns into new patients is exciting for me.
That was a good chat with him about that, because he's a very visionary guy.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing how the struggle of getting his vision on to a website in the way that he wants it done, right? You know, that's the
and people love his website. You know,
right. It's great looking.
I tell them, they're like, well, what about this picture? I'm like, you don't know. He wanted blue eyes to match the blue. Like that's how particular he was, but it turned out amazing. So
right.
Yep.
Okay. So, well, what about how about some big pitfalls? How about some
pitfalls? That's funny. So I always tell this story.
Right.
Ready for a funny story?
Yeah.
So we do. Dr. Rishney's also he's a fun guy, and he'll try any kind of marketing. He thinks it's going to work. We'll try it. So we were doing text message reminders for patients on their appointment. With our text message platform, you could also do broadcast text. So you could send out a blast text message. So we sent out a blast text message that was a little clickbaity, and it was basically like, you need to call us right now. And it went out to 3,000 people who immediately started calling the office. It was the first text message blast we ever sent out, and the phones were just off the hook. And it was lunchtime. We had one front desk. The poor girl literally started crying and was like, what to do? The phones were just ringing, and I was in a panic because I'm like, oh my God. She wasn't there that day, thank goodness. But and so I'm asking my office manager, who I'm still good friends with, and I'm like, Sarah, what am I gonna do? And she's like, Dr. Rishney wants you to get the phones ringing. The phones are ringing. But it was
I made the phones ring. I made the phones ring.
Yeah, that's my job description. So I made that happen. But so I've learned my lesson, and make sure you're when you send out an e-blast, an e-text message blast, make sure you have your list straight. That was a great.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that was interesting.
That's a marketing faux pas.
Yes. I mean, we've tried all kinds of marketing and lots of different marketing that doesn't work, right? So things that didn't work for us, some things that didn't work, radio ads were just not something that worked well for us. So we decided, where are we getting most of our patients from? And we narrowed that down to our top 3 sources. And it was always other patients referring patients, our website, and doctors referring. So that's where we focused. And that's why Foster and DSS was such a huge part of our marketing.
When you say our website, what do you mean? Like people are searching and finding because of the content that you're adding to the website? Is that why?
Yep. Our content was huge. We did a lot of videos. The videos were huge. I mean, we were just there was times where we were getting 200, 300 leads a month. I mean, we were just cranking them out. And it was huge. It was huge for us. And we took those leads seriously. And, I think some people maybe don't cherish their leads as much as we did, because when a lead came through our website, we called them back pretty immediately. I would say within a half an hour, we called them back. And if we didn't get a hold of someone, they were going on a list and we were following up with them. Because those leads are important, and the content.
Oh my gosh! Right. when marketing works, right?
Right. Yeah. And, that's another funny story. We have a Dr. K, who's a older doctor, just a different generation, right? Video and internet was not his favorite thing to do. And but he was a good guy. He would do anything I tell him to do. So I'm like, Dr. K, we're doing more videos today. We're going to cut toenail videos and we're doing this. And he would be like, okay, I'm going to do it. I don't know what this means for us, but I'm going to do it. And he did it. And his videos blew up. I mean, he was getting thousands and thousands of views a month on these videos. And he got a phone call from like a college alumni that he went to school with in California that saw one of his videos. He's like, I can't believe it. This works. And I'm like, Dr. K, I've been telling you. But that proved for him.
Great.
Yeah. He's like, I can't believe this video reached someone in California.
What a shock. Video works.
Yep.
That's great. Jessica, who are some of your mentors?
Honestly, I would say Dr. Wishny was one of my mentors. Brad's been one of my mentors. You've been one of my mentors for sure. I mean, honestly, you guys have all been really great. Rem Jackson's a huge mentor.
Rem Jackson.
There's a lot I could name. I would say that's probably my top 4. Sarah, who I mentioned, the office manager at Family Foot and Ankle Specialist. I mean, she's a woman in power and leadership, and her and I worked really well together in making the office cohesive. And, just really, we were both driven to be successful in that office, and it's worked out. So I would say those are my top mentors. I appreciate all you guys.
Well, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you saying that. What are some of your daily rituals that keep you going?
So I have 2 kids. My daughter just turned 7 and my son's going to turn 10. So they keep me busy. My rituals have to be flexible, I would say, depending on the day. But usually, I mean, just like Brad would say, we're all trying to be a better version of ourselves. So I'm waking up earlier. I'm trying to have some mom time before the kids come down with the craziness, have a cup of coffee, go over my day, get my head right before.
How old are the kids?
7 and 10.
Oh, well, you're right there in the thick of it. Right.
In the thick of things. So I would say that's how I start my day. I try to start in a positive attitude. Sometimes, I don't commute anymore. This has been a big change for me. So I used to have to drive into the office. Now I'm working from home. So I used to have my Zen time in the car where I could blast some music and, switch from mom mode to work mode and different modes, right? We have to switch our
Right.
So now I don't have that anymore, but I've got my speaker down here, and sometimes I just come down before I, going through emails, and I just blast the music and just switch things up, get ready, and focus. But yeah, I'm a big podcast listener. That used to be my podcast.
I was going to ask you that. What are some of your favorite podcasts?
Well, The World of Marketing, definitely on my top podcast list. But I'm also a huge true crime junkie. So I listen to a lot of murder mysteries, True Crime Garage, and Crime Junkies. That's my guilty pleasure, I would say.
Wow.
I try to mix it up with some SEO podcasts. That way I'm not too far off the ledge, Got to keep your mind right. But yeah, podcast, jam.
So what about some of your favorite software and tools that you use besides DSS, Jessica?
It is my favorite. I like to use different tools. I would say SpyFu is a really great tool for those of our clients who are trying to track and measure. We have clients on different levels. Some of our clients are new. They have no idea, and they're just trying to lay out a strategy. And then we have some clients that are power users, like some of those that I named. I think a lot of it is trying to get our clients to understand, how to write content and how that translates into your perfect client, customer, or patient. Writing a blog about why does my heel hurt in the morning? How does that translate into patients? How does a video actually get you clients, customers, or patients? That type of stuff. And so having tools like SpyFu or the DSS SEO tool, things like that, having those tools in place to show the numbers. Google Analytics, a lot of my clients, that's a simple way to look at the data, but sometimes they need to see this blog post had this many people come to your page. They clicked on this button and filled out a form. And so seeing that is like, oh, okay, so that's how that one piece of content actually leads into a page. So I like using those tools to show them exactly, you could follow the path of people on your website and where they're going and maybe why did they stop? How do we make that page better? So a lot of those tools help to kind of reinforce. And then I think it becomes addictive, right? So
yeah, totally. Data.
I'm not a
little data junkie.
It's true. I'm not a math person. My older brother's an engineer, and I think he sucked out all the math genes, and I didn't get any. Yeah, and that's okay. Neither. I like to write. I like to do different things, but the data can become addictive, even if you're not a math person, because it's fun. It's like, okay, I wrote this article. It took me some time, but 17 people came to it in 3 days, and then they came to my contact us form, and then they filled this out and got my book, and then you're like, how do I do more? How do I make this better? How do we get more people?
Tweak it?
So, yeah, it just becomes really fun. And looking at those numbers can help you to see where you should spend your time, what's working. And even sometimes, is that people are coming to your site and they're filling out your form, but are those the clients that you want to see? Are they the ones that are bringing you in the most money? At the end of the day, we want to help people, but you want to help people in the right way. So I think that those tools.
You also want to help people. You also want to help the right people for you.
Right. The business, it's your baby,
Right. Yeah. So if you're attracting all the wrong kinds of patients or clients, then you got to do something.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. So I think looking at those tools, if you're skeptical or if you're trying to connect the dots and figure out how this all comes together to give you patients or clients, looking at the data can really help you to understand. Like I sent out this e-blast, all of a sudden my traffic spiked and now I've got a whole bunch of leads on that day. I'm going to send more e-blasts. It just becomes fun. It becomes really
And
fun.
That's why that's why we have coaches. That's why we have Jessica. That's why we have Coach. That's why we have a coach system, is to educate on this very important thing, marketing, because marketing is a science. That's really what it is. It's not, there's some math to it. Unfortunately for us math people, we're not very good at math. There is a little math to marketing, but it's a science that you're trying to get people to pay attention to you. And Jessica has just done a fantastic job over her career of figuring out ways to get people to pay attention. And she can do that for you.
Yes. I can be your accountability. I'm your marketing accountability partner.
Right. She can show you how to do it. Yeah. You already know so many ways on the ways that your clients need you, your patients need you, but you should talk to Jessica to figure out, how can I take my ideas and make them work in your system?
Yep.
That's really it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Exactly. Yep. More patients, more clients, the better patients and clients. Yeah.
And it's about to get more complicated, because Google Analytics is changing, GA4, Google Analytics 4. So everything's going to change in the next few months. So all the reporting is going to be different. You're going to need to understand that. Jessica has a good knowledge of how we're paying attention to how Google Analytics 4 is monitoring things. So you're going to need to understand that. Other changes down the road. Can't have a podcast these days without talking about AI, Jessica.
That's true. Oh man.
So have you been playing around with AI?
I have been playing around with AI. And
yeah, me too.
Fun.
It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool for certain things. Like social media, I think could have a good integration with AI, just generating some ideas. If you're stuck and you're trying to figure out how to make a social media calendar for a month, just using AI to generate some captions and some ideas. You don't want to use it to write content on your website, of course, straight off onto your website, but I'm trying to find the ways that it can
for ideas. It's great for generating ideas.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And we're going to integrate AI into DSS. but not like just write me a piece of content.
Yeah.
Because it's not that.
If only it was that easy.
Not there yet.
Yeah, no.
If it ever will be.
No.
But definitely AI has its, and we're using it. We're using it ourselves. And we're going to integrate it into DSS. Well, Jessica, it has been wonderful having you. I think this is your second time on the podcast.
Yeah,
I will have you again, my dear. You are wonderful, and I appreciate you so much, and as do our clients. Is there anything you'd like to say to anybody?
Yeah, well, I would just like to say if you are interested in gaining more clients, more new patients, or better clients or patients, please reach out to me at coaching@fosterwebmarketing.com. I would love to be your marketing accountability partner. I will show up at your door, ringing your doorbell at 6 a.m. with a water bottle and tell you to get in the car. We're hitting the marketing gym. So you can't slack. Sometimes we all need a little push. Your gym buddy, I'll be your marketing buddy. But I'm just as committed to making you succeed as you are. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'd love to help.
I love it. Very good. Jessica, thank you so much. Everybody, it's been Tom and Jessica and Tom from the world of marketing. You all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.